This video is for all the vinyl, tape, and analog lovers out there, because Electro, the latest drum machine plugin from Teletone Audio, is our focus today. We're doing a full review, and I have one question for you. Does this drum machine make me sound fat?
I'm afraid it's murder. Murder, murder. Murder, murder.
I like Lobster a lot. It's so good. The taste is fantastic. The problem is, lobster is expensive. So most of the time, people don't buy the lobster. They buy the whitefish and wish they'd bought the lobster.
Wrong glass, sir.
When I heard Electro for the first time, lobster was one of the first things I thought of. Not the B-52's version, but this one. Why, you might ask? Well, because Electro screams high-end analog gear all day long. Teletone Audio is known for their fleet of lobster fishing vessels, making some very rich-sounding plugins. They have a particular warm, analog tone that is different from most of the rest of the market. They're at the opposite end of the spectrum compared to something like Arturia's Pigments. Teletone instruments are warm, organic, analog, variable. They scream old solid state and tube amps, tape wow, and flutter. Pigments, on the other hand, shouts cool, collective, crisp, and pristine. Full disclosure, I bought my own copy of Electro. There's a lot to like about it, and we're doing a full review, so let's dive in. Electro is well laid out, with the kit and beats section right in the center, sound design tools and FX at the top, and individual drum adjustments at the bottom. Ease of use gets high marks due to the inclusion of well thought out tooltips. These are small enough where they don't get in the way, and detailed enough where you don't really need a manual. Menu diving is non-existent, and items that have more than one option or a list to choose from have arrows indicating that. One thing I really like is the beatmaker page. This has a number of great features. 1. It's super easy to adjust the beat by clicking in any location. UVI's Drum Designer has a similar feature, but the rail-thin lines are fiddly and hard to dial in correctly. Electro makes it super easy. 2. There is a straight-up drum machine mode where velocity goes away, so you can just click on a slot and it adds or removes the beat. 3. Dice everywhere. Just like UVI's Percussion Factory, each of the 10 drum lanes has a randomizer. 4. It's super easy to change the drum key. While I like ADSR's drum machine, changing the key is a bit of a pain. With Electro, I just pick a key here, and if I want, I can adjust specific notes to specific beats in the beatmaker page. Excellent. 5. Clicking on the drum lane solos that lane. 6. Need double hits or triplets? Just drag the number at the top of each beat to change it. 7. Use the little arrow on the side to add some basic beat options. And if you don't like what you have, just hit the undo button. These features and a number of other things that I'll go over shortly make the beatmaker page both easy and fun to use. Finally, there are a number of housekeeping tools under the Preferences gear, including the ability to save new kits and beats to the user directory with one click, the ability to reset everything, and copy and paste features. While I'm not a huge fan of the basic color scheme, it does fit the spirit of the plugin, and the ease of use coupled with just 2 pages of controls and lots of intelligently added extras earn Electro a high score. As far as drum kits are concerned, Electro has a total of 75. That's, well, not a huge amount. In comparison, ADSR Drum Machine has 50, Drum Designer has 398 because UVI are overachievers, and Sound Yeti's Method 1 has 225. Electro's kits include the 808, 909, Lindrum, Moog DFAM, Juno 60, and several others, and they are very well put together. As far as beats goes, it's a little bit of a different story. Electro comes with just 87 beats. That's not a huge amount considering the retail price is $129. Lobster. That's a healthy price for a drum machine VST. With the loyalty discount, I was able to get this for 103, which I think is a pretty fair price. For comparisons, ADSR's drum machine has 800 beats, Method 1 has 500, and is almost always on sale for $99. Drum Designer comes with almost 500 beats and costs $149, and Percussion Factory comes with 556 and costs $149. The thing that is different about Electro, however, is that each set of beats has a total of 8 different pages. 7 of these are different beats with one blank page so that you can copy one beat to make changes or just draft up your own. This helps keep Electro's drum track sounding fresh and not just the same 4 on the floor beat for 90% of your song. Other similar drum machines only have 2 or 3 pages at most, which significantly boosts Electro's content, at least in the range at or above most of the pack. The addition of the randomizer dice also adds to your content amount, as this makes it easy to come up with new beats, even if you're not Neil Peart. So comparing the content to other drum VSTs out there, I think Electro comes in at least above average, and they get a 17 out of 20 for content. Teletone products have a unique sound as far as plugins go. Probably the best way to describe it is super rich analog sound. Lobster. It sounds really good, but it may not fit everyone's style. And while plugins like UVI's Drum Designer and TuneTrack's Superior Drummer also sound excellent, they both have a different tonality and fit different styles. Let's listen to all three. Electro fits a number of styles, but as you can hear, most of the kits do not have a super clean sound, and that's perfectly fine with me because it fills a niche and it fills it rather nicely. The warmth and saturation is excellent, and sound quality gets a 20 out of 20 in my book. In 2023, drum machines are kind of run-of-the-mill. There's only so much you can do to innovate. Electro, however, is a standout in this category. First, there are a number of features, while not exactly exclusive to Electro, are not always bundled together in one drum plugin, like per lane randomization and undo, splitting beats, multiple pages per beat, etc. Not exactly groundbreaking stuff, but well thought out and easy to use. All these little features add up to help make creating a new beat quick and easy. Next are the really well done kits and beats. Everything from 1980s Phil Collins and Michael Jackson to 90s house to modern day reggae, trap, glitch, and drill. I swear, just in the 100 BPM category, I heard whiffs of Sugar Hill Gang, Wham, Whitney Houston, Herbie Hancock, and Macklemore. But the main feature that really trips the innovation meter is the pitch and mode wheel features. This might be a feature of tempo and electro that is unique in the drum plugin world. At least I've never seen it before, and it's killer for live performances. Just click on one or more of the 5 options to the right, and you're making instant risers and downers with your beats. That's pretty cool. Each one of the 5 functions is great by themselves, but combine 2 or 3 or all 5 and you can get really crazy. The mod wheel offers a different flavor of effects, and if you were to map the 6 other sound design functions to the knobs on your keyboard, or say something like a MIDI fighter twister, then you've got some real power under your fingers. Altogether, I think the whole package gets high marks in this department for the number of little things that work well together. There are a number of tools that help Electro in the sound design category. While it doesn't have the absolute control and full mixing capabilities of something like Superior Drummer, or the full-on sound shaping parameters of Drum Designer, it holds its own in the drum plugin field. First, as mentioned above, the unique way in which you can map to the pitch and mod wheels is a pretty big deal. Then, you also have several master effects that you can incorporate, like flange, chorus, phaser, and reverb. All these sound excellent, and the combination of the distress and distortion allow you to go from tight and clean to fat funkadelic bliss. The 4 reverb models are great, but I wish there were more to choose from. A large hall or space echo would be fantastic, and the top end of the mix knob is limited to real-world parameters, so you really can't take the reverb out of bounds. The section at the bottom of the main page is where individual drum sounds can be tweaked. This is pretty standard stuff, with the exception of the drum morphing slider on several of the drums. This is kind of similar to what Drum Designer does, except that it's a faster process. In DD, you can spend hours tweaking a sound to get it just how you want by layering, tuning, and staggering samples. In Electro, you choose two and morph between them. While it's not as powerful, it's definitely faster, and it lets you come up with something that doesn't sound like it just came out of the box. So while Electro doesn't have the raw sound design power of some of its contenders, it's definitely enough to keep things interesting and allow you to quickly dial a sound in. I give Electro a 17 out of 20 for sound design. If I had any suggestions for Teletone, it would be to include more beats and kits, and add more reverb models, or maybe add a mix boost button to let users access the otherworldly category. Other than that, this is a super solid drum machine that sounds fantastic. Thus, Electro gets some pretty high marks for a final score, and they are well deserved. I'm glad I splurged on the Lobster, and for me, this ranks up there with 3 other drum and percussion plugins at the top of my list that I use quite a lot. If you want to pick up some Lobster, Electro, the link is in the description. If you like drum machines, check out a review of UVI's Percussion Factory earlier this year. Hit that like and subscribe to keep up to date with audio product reviews, tips, tricks, free libraries, and the occasional Lobster story. Thanks for watching, and we will see you on the other side of the mountain.
Murder.